Hey, welcome to the Gratu Orloff Show, episode 522. We're in the elevator here at the Gratu Orloff Manor. This elevator once hauled furniture. There's the third floor. You know that because it says it. Once this elevator carried furniture. When this was a furniture store, and from 1950 to 72, this elevator hauled dead bodies when this was a funeral home. And now it hauls collectibles and bullshit and comic books and records and stuff like that, and pinball machines. That's the floor where we're going to, the second floor, which is ground level. So I gotta go over here and adjust. Hold on. Sorry. There we go. Perfect. So I've leveled the floor, so now I can open up the door. And now we can get started on episode 522 here on a beautiful Saturday morning. The Gratu Orloff Show once again is coming to you in color from the Gratu Orloff International Network. So I'm starting to put a few more things up on the walls. Got a sign so people know where the potty is. So today is Saturday morning, and waiting for the big Donald Trump rally tonight. So soon, Right Side Broadcasting will go on the air with all their preliminary, people coming into the fairgrounds or wherever it's going to be held. I think it's going to be in Wyoming. I think Casper, Wyoming, I believe. Speaking of Casper, I'll be showing you some Harvey comics today and all kinds of neat stuff. Drew, the dog, is recovering from her surgery. She's doing really well. She just has to have this cone on for 10 days. I want to show you some cool things I've been discovering on YouTube that might entertain you, besides Miguel Ramos's Hammond organ with orchestra, which you might enjoy. Here, this is on the Oregon Jukebox Network, which you should subscribe to on YouTube. Let's see. What is entertaining? Let's see. Captain Strangelove put up a new episode last night. That was fun. And let's see. There's Comic Crypt of Castle Hills found his vintage concert t-shirts and ticket stubs. And that's neat. Let's see. Let me look in my history and I'll show you a few things you may not know about here on the wonderful YouTube. Let's see, where was it? Oh, there's a town 50 miles from here called Winterset, which was John Wayne's birthplace, and I think it was 2 days ago was John Wayne's birthday. He was born, I think, in 1908. So at some point, that maybe next week or the weekend after that, or who knows, could be on a weekday. I'll go down there and I'll bring you guys along and see his boyhood home, which is near the town square. They've got a drugstore there that still has a fountain and chairs, like they were in the good old days. And it's got a cool movie theater there called the Iowa Theater that plays a lot of John Wayne movies. So it's called Winterset. So that's something I'll be investigating. I looked it up I looked up Winterset, and apparently there was a really cool movie called Cold Turkey that came out in 1971 that was directed by what's his name? Norman Lear. It was a really good movie, and it was filmed in Winterset. And there's a remake of The Crazies from like 2010 that was apparently filmed there too. I never saw that. And so because it's one of these towns, it still looks like and also not that I would care. Maybe it's good. It's a Clint Eastwood directed movie. The Bridges of Madison County was also filmed there, and they've got all those little bridges that I'm sure matter. They're actually really cool. Let's see. So, see, I was looking at the trailer for The Crazies, and someone's actually put the whole movie up, so I was kind of, that's was in my history because I was looking at that. But where was it? I was just looking at, there's a channel that gets old black and white historical film, and I know it sounds blasphemous, but they colorize it and then they add sound to it and try to make it seem like you're really there. And sometimes they get the colors very colossally wrong. But there was one I was looking at where it shows, I guess in Los Angeles, they've opened a Beanie drive-in restaurant, and it's probably one of the first drive-in hamburger restaurants. And it's based on Beanie and Cecil. Before it was a cartoon, at that point in the early 50s, Beanie and Cecil was a puppet show, I think on local Los Angeles TV. It later became a cartoon in the 60s. And Stan Freberg worked on it. Stan Freberg, one of my idols. Oh boy, let's see here. Where was that? Unless I was watching it on my wife's, no, there it is. California 1950s, Beanie's Drive, Long Beach, 60 frames per second, added sound. Okay, and I'll show you the network so that you can subscribe to it possibly.
Admiral Michael Franken is running to protect our rights from dangerous attacks at home on democracy, voting rights, and civil rights. And with a woman's right to choose and marriage equality under threat, we need a senator on our side more than ever.
All right, a Democrat, huh? Okay. I'm sure if he's a Democrat, he's going to be creating more problems.
In this modern era.
That's not the fucking show. I hit the wrong thing. It's this one. Let me rewind it. Okay, play. So yeah, it's the NASS channel. You got to subscribe to it. It's pretty cool. So they've added sound effects and all that. See, there's Beanie. That horn just scared, that they added to this film, just scared Drew, my beagle. She started running. Anyway, yeah, tune in this channel, NASS. I don't know what it stands for. Yeah, this must have been when they opened the restaurant and someone thought it was a big deal. You know, they wanted to shoot film of it, but yeah, a lot of their film is colorized. I think this was the channel that put up these World War I veterans that had shell shock, and they were walking around and behaving like Don Martin cartoon characters because their minds had been completely shattered by the explosions and violence and death around them. But they added color to it. It's weird when you see World War I footage with color added to it. There's a whole movie, actually. I think it's called They Were Men Then, or They Were Soldiers Then. I don't know. It came out a few years ago. I never saw it. I wanted to see it real bad. And it was a whole, I think it was, might have been George Miller with Mad Max fame that put it together. I'm not sure, but it was a whole documentary with World War I film. Look at those prices. World War I film that had been had color added and all that, and they played with the frame rate so that it, you know, it really looked like modern, like it was shot yesterday. Seems like there was something else. Oh, you got to check out this channel here. It's called Pirate Radio USA. Let me show you. Let's go to the channel. Pirate Radio USA. And it's got all these radio jingles and movie spots. Here's one for She Freak.
Ladies and gentlemen, you will soon behold a sight so strange, so horrifying, so utterly monstrous, we dare you to look.
Yeah, so it's got all this great stuff. Here's Orgy of the Living Dead drive-in movie radio spot.
This man's name is John Austin.
Anyway, you just got to trust me on this. Just subscribe to this channel. It's got amazing stuff. All these radio jingles, it's just incredible. I like radio jingles. Maybe you think I'm mad. My wife thinks I'm mad when I play these jingles for 6 or 7 hours straight. Yeah, this is 270s. I like the older stuff. Let's see if we can find some older jingles. Now, the most famous radio jingles that played on Top 40 radio stations in the 60s and 50s were from a company called Pam's, and it's in Dallas. I actually went to the Pam's studio, and I got this box set here. It's got all their the music of Pam's, and it's all from their master tapes. And yeah, that sounds like a Pam's jingle there. I forget what Pam stands for. It might have been someone's name, but they're still there, and they still use the original music beds, and they've got singers that sound just like in the 50s and 60s, and they would do jingles for oldie stations, so it would sound like radio did in the 60s. And there's a reason why. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Top 40 radio, as we know it, or as we knew it, started in Dallas with Gordon McClendon's radio station. Well, he had a station, KLIF. It was in Oak Cliff, and it was and it played top 40 music, and you can listen to old radio air checks of KLIF. Right now, KLIF is still a station in Dallas, but it's a talk radio, conservative talk radio station. But it was an important radio station, and they had these radio jingles like this, and they had the music, and then they'd record the jingles for any station. You see, you'd go all around the country, you'd hear the same jingles. It's just they would sing different radio call letters over the jingle. And anyway, Gordon McClendon pioneered the whole format of the DJs and the jingles and all that. And yeah, you could probably look up Pam's here on YouTube. Let's see here. Pam's. Oh yeah, over here it says Pam's Jingles. Yeah, if you're making music tapes or music compilations, these jingles will really spice up your recording and make it sound like you're listening to a real radio station. So anyway, they'd have whole packages. They'd have a go-go package. They had one that was a Batman package where it was sounded like the Batman theme in '66. Yeah, so anyway, this is that's Pam's Jingles. Anyway, Gordon McClendon owned several radio stations. He owned a TV station, and he owned a whole bunch of drive-in theaters. The one I had gone to was the Century Drive-In in Grand Prairie, Texas, which is between Arlington and Dallas. And Gordon McClendon didn't like, he thought, you know, these shitty movies they're sending me to play in my drive-in, I could make a movie as good as these. So Gordon McClendon was responsible for making The Killer Shrews and The Giant Gila Monster. So Gordon McClendon, important person in that he pioneered Top 40 Radio, made those two fine films, and Yeah, just a broadcast pioneer. Oh, and he was a very big presence on November 22nd, 1963, during the coverage of the Kennedy assassination. Gordon McClendon was also made a name for himself there. So anyway, Gordon McClendon, someone you could look up and read about. I wonder if anyone's written a book about him. They probably should. If they haven't, perhaps I should do that. So I'll have a little bit of time on my hands. Oh, look, a fart sound effects compilation. Authentic human farts. Why the hell is that in the feed? Authentic human farts. That's very nice. Let's see. I'll show you one more deal. These are like folders I have on YouTube. I've already started making my Christmas Music 2022 folder, and so I've already got some... Oh, this guy. He's got all these Sinatra albums up on YouTube, but he gets around the sense, because obviously they'll take it down, so he just uses these letters. So you don't... He's Gustavo Morales Battaglini. Has a lot of good albums up, but he's hiding them on YouTube, just so you know. Look up Gustavo Morales Battaglini. He's real good too. Okay, so let's get back to my folders. This is my ordinary life, I'm just bringing you along on an ordinary Saturday morning. There's Phantom Fingers by Dick Hyman. These are some good... If you go to the Oregon Jukebox channel, I already told you about that. You can get some good stuff. This is just a music compilation. I wanted to show you... Oh, this is another thing I wanted to show you. If you go to the Late Late Horror Show, it's... They have like live streams that go for 11, 12 hours with old-time radio shows. And it's really cool. You can sleep to it and hear all these great radio shows from before the days of television. And let's get past his little opening. So he's got it. So
Axel Hannett, America's leading detective fiction writer and creator of Sam Spade, The Hard-Boiled Private Eye, and William Spade.
So it makes you feel like you're in a haunted house listening to this radio. You got Vincent Price there. I think this is Vincent Price's birthday, I believe. I think I already told you that. So this is an episode of Sam Spade, sponsored by Wild Root Cream Oil. But the thing about this guy is he's got the greatest thumbnails. He's obviously one of us. I'll show you. Go to channel. Because see, that's okay. So you see, he'll put old comic book pictures up. So this is a mixed bag compilation that lasts for almost 12 hours. Look at this. Is that his collection, I wonder? It must be. This is a commercial for him where you go support him on Patreon. Oh, look at that.
Right there, you have reached the Late Late Horror Show.
Oh, wow.
Dr. Bubonic. And Dino runs this channel. What a fantastic
This guy's fucking cool. That's the type of mask we should have worn the last couple of years instead of those little cloth masks. See, he's got all these cool comics up. Anyway. I just thought you should know about this channel. If you watch this channel and you're not subscribed to them, was that Klaus Schwab? There? No, that's, I guess, the guy from Hellraiser. He looks like Klaus Schwab. Klaus Schwab is a famous comic book artist that used to work for ACG Comics. And now he's a Nazi Luciferian worshiper of Baal that is about to... and the World Economic Forum, they were just met in Davos. Facebook is now Meta. And Meta is going to have... The World Economic Forum, the WEF, is going to have a big role in Meta, because what they want to do is in the next 10 years they want you to own nothing. They want you to just live in a little closet or like in the Matrix, live in a tube. Well, you have these virtual reality goggles, and you'll have nothing, but you think you have lots of stuff because your eyes tell you, you know, that you live in a palace, that you're getting laid, that you're doing, but actually nothing's happening to you except you're just rotting there. And they want you to start eating bugs because, you know, and they want to reduce the population, and they have various ways to do that. Anyway, and Biden's all in. Whenever you hear Build Back Better, that comes from Klaus Schwab, and because you hear all these different leaders saying that, trust me, Biden didn't come up with Build Back Better. But you don't want to hear about politics because just because our government is led by a bunch of people that worship Lucifer, that's not a problem at all. But anyway, but here I am looking at all this satanic-looking stuff. But this is fantasy. These people, like Hillary, they actually believe and actually worship and Moloch, and then they go and they go pray in the woods to like statues of owls and shit. You think I'm crazy? You think I'm a conspiracy person? But it's really true. And if you're not aware that things are very, very horrible right now, then you're not paying attention. Maybe that's the whole goal, is just to let's look at comic books and not realize that the world's going to crap around us. But anyway, all right, that's a cool thing you need to subscribe to, is The Late Horror Show. Oh, another thing you need to look at is FT Depot. Shit. You guys are getting bored. You came here to see comics, and I'm going to show you some comics here in a minute. Oh, and I promised to do an unboxing. And Charlton66 said yesterday it was just about to leave to the post office, send me a package, so I'm real excited about that. That'll be the highlight of next week. So, okay, FT Depot has 8.17 thousand subscribers, rightfully. But what they do, they put up trailers and little things like this, and they're in 4K, you know. So if you have a home theater, you have this kind of stuff. You know, I've got a projector, video projector. And he's putting up Scopatones now too. So if you don't know what Scopatones are, they were video film jukeboxes back in the mid-60s. I think the Scopatones machines were made in France, and you'd put in your coin, and then it would show. You would hear the song, but you'd also see a film rear projected in the jukebox. So it was like the very first music videos, a good almost 20 years before MTV. So these were the first music. Well, no, they weren't the first music videos, because they had the Soundies in the 40s and all that, and they had bands performing in Max Fleischer cartoons and everything. But these are the first, in my opinion, music videos, color, like what we kind of know. And they're all, because they were meant to play in bars, they're all kind of racy, not dirty, but they would show like those old album covers in the 60s and 50s that showed a lot of cleavage and stuff. They would do that kind of thing. So you'll see here. I'll play one for you. This is FT Depot. Yeah, these are called Scopatones, man, and they're the greatest thing in the world, and this will change your life just because I've told you about Scopatones. I know Mike McCarthy in Memphis. I told him about Scopatones back in the 90s, and he put a Scopatone into his movie, his next movie. You know, he made his own Scopatone. So, anyway. Oh, I was going to, speaking of, I was going to do an unboxing. Let me get some music going here. Let's see. Yeah. So mainly all right, no. Let's see if Right Side Broadcasting is on yet. Whenever there's a Trump rally, Right Side Broadcasting comes on the air. Let's see here. Are they on yet? upcoming. Okay, it's live in 27 minutes. It's going to be in Casper, Wyoming tonight. There's already 1,484 people watching. I guess, shit, I'm one of them. Almost knocked this box of Superman radio shows down. Need to be more careful. All right, so let's go up to the second level. And, oh, this is Mike. Speaking of Mike McCarthy, this is his work here. Oh, there's all these comics I have to take upstairs. Let me bring a box down and I'll gather these comics together. Let's head on upstairs. I'll have to take some stuff up while I'm doing this. Oh boy, what should I take up? See, I've got all these piles of stuff. Oh, this is original art from X&O. I really like that. It's some Batgirl fighting like a variation of a Mars Attacks alien. This guy, X&O, used to go into a place, I don't know if it's still there or not, it was called Memphis Comics. And he lived near there, and he'd take his drawings and sketches in or doodles, and he'd trade them for comics. And then Memphis Comics would sell his art through ads in, I think, the Comic Buyer's Guide, that tabloid newspaper. So I would sometimes order some of his art from them. And that's a spicy meatball. No, that's yeah, that's how I got some of the X&O art that I have. In fact, I think I got 3 paintings from Memphis Comics once. I'll show them to you here. This one of Fred Flintstone, and this Batgirl. They're dated 1991. And then I had a third one that was Betty Boop as like a stripper with pasties, and it wasn't as good. I actually gave that to an old girlfriend, so that was a mistake. Like many mistakes in my life. So, oh, and this is not an actual painting by X&O. This is I believe they call it a giclée. It's numbered. It's like a print, but it's made to look like a painting. Okay, so let's see what we can do up here. What I've done this morning is I hung this 3-sheet for Walk Into Hell. I found my UFO 1-sheet with I found my UFO 1-sheet from like Iran. It was a 3-sheet. Did I say 1-sheet? I found that down in this closet, but I've yet to find Reptilicus and some of those posters. Okay, so what was I going to do here? I was going to do an unboxing, but every time I do that, I lose what I was going to unbox. Maybe it's in here. Okay. Another thing I did is I went to Dollar General, since they don't have Dollar Tree here, but we do have Dollar General. We got real cheap these blackout curtains, and they're not going to be permanent, but they're there for right now because I'm organizing, believe it or not, all these Bronze Age comics. And I don't like the sun blaring through in the evening through those windows, possibly damaging these highly valuable and collectible comics, you know. Oh, I was going to show you something else. Oh, there's what I was, god damn it, what I was going to, there's what I was going to unbox, but this new town that I've come to, Mount Gratu, well, Here's Drew trying to get through these boxes with her cone. I'm sorry, Drew. I've created an obstacle course for you. Jesus, sorry. What a mess your master has created for you. Okay. Like, here I am in this new town, and it's like there are no comic stores, and there's one antique store, and there's no comics in it. But I started digging and actually found some comics in this antique store. They didn't even know they were there. They gave them to me for $0.25 each. And it turns out these comics had never gone very far. 2 doors down is a barbecue restaurant that we eat at every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Wonderful food. Called Still Smokin'. And I was telling my wife, Still Smokin' is a goddamn Cheech and Chong movie, and it's a reference to dog shit still smoking. When a dog shits and it's hot and it's a cold day and it looks like it's smoking. But apparently it's called that because the owner's name is Still. That's his last name, Still. But anyway. I had a point. What was I talking? Oh, that barbecue place used to be a drugstore, and I was told these comics came from the drugstore that was 2 doors down. So anyway, they came from that drugstore, and apparently they never sold at that drugstore because they all have covers missing or the titles. And I had them pulled so I can show them to you, and now I can't find them. So let's see what we got here. Got some comics I need to file. Where are those books? It's not like they're anything spectacular, it's just kind of a historical moment for me. The first comics I bought here, are these them? Ah, yes, you're in luck. I found them. And I see, look, I have the Philco Predictor there. There's no furniture for this room yet, so I'm able to just spread my boxes everywhere. God damn it. And all that. Let me turn on this ring light. It's my wife's ring light. She got for her YouTube channel, which she really hasn't done anything with yet, but I'm encouraging her to start her YouTube channel. She wants to do a makeup channel, and I'm encouraging her to do a political channel because, but maybe on Rumble, since there's a limited free speech here on YouTube. In fact, the lady that runs YouTube was a speaker at the World Economic Forum the other day and was proudly stating to Klaus Schwab and his fellow Satanists that, censorship's a good thing and we need more of it. As you all know. Okay. Okay, now where can I mount this camera? Gosh darn it, the dog cannot get through. Let me move this stuff over. Oh my gosh. The dog must have access. Okay, I need to build back better, motherfuckers. I know, I need to build something to put this camera on so that people will not complain. People are always complaining about my camera work. SpinnerX Studios, Captain Strange Life, Total Strangers all hate my camera work. And I recognize it's shitty, but it's got great verisimilitude. How the fuck do you pronounce that word? Verisimilitude. Veritas. It's very real, man. It's like cinema veritas and about verite. Okay. What's in this box? Oh, photographs. Here's a photo of Iris Bristol. Yeah. Here's another photograph of Iris Bristol, British model. This is, what was her name from Island of Lost Souls? Okay. What is this? Oh, come on, Drew. Stop being a motherfucker. Oh, this is from this is from the CBS network. You can't fucking see. What a shit show. This is Nancy Walters from a show called He and She that apparently was on CBS. May 10th, 1968. Nancy Walters appears as a model for a cartoonist who brings a lawsuit against the Hollisters on He and She, Wednesday, May 29th, in color on the CBS television network. And this is the photograph. She's kind of like a Wonder Woman. So I've never heard of the show He and She. There's a great band called She and Him. You gotta trust me. Even though, what's her damn name? She's some actress that's that you've seen before, but she's got very good taste in music, although she did shill for Biden. But, you know, Biden's doing a great job, so I need to eat my own words. He's really having a great time here in Biden's America. I just filled up my gas tank yesterday. It was real close to $50. And that's good. That's real good. That's real good. We did a great job there. Josie and the Pussycats. Oh, this is how that started. That Billy Boy Gates is talking about. See, this is probably the first patient, Drew Barrymore. But so you're gonna all have to go get your V's for that, you know. Oh, Charlton 66 said he would call me today, so that's gonna be cool. I haven't talked with him for a while. There's this does not have nudity. She has pasties on. This is Candy Barr. She was a Dallas stripper that kind of was in the same, a lot of the same, Jack Ruby, some of Jack Ruby's clubs back in those days. That's lead singer of Garbage. There's Hedy Lamarr, who invented the cell phone that I'm holding in my hand right now, or basically the basic principle behind the cell phone. Another photograph of Hedy Lamarr. Another one. I've got a wax figure of Hedy Lamarr downstairs that I bought back in the 90s that had come from an abandoned wax museum. Remember when I put it on layaway. When I came back to get it, I remember the old lady was saying, "Oh, you come to get old Hedy. Oh, Hedy." All right. Ghost World, one of the fine films. Oh, and then here are some pictures from Bunny Yeager, and these were from the original negatives. But they're pictures of Betty Page. Oh, yeah, and look, they're signed on the back by Bunny Yeager, and she actually printed up these negatives. Here's Betty Page. It's nude, but I'll do it quick. You didn't see anything. Betty Page. I better cover that up. That's shocking. Okay, I covered it up a little bit. Oh, this one actually isn't Bunny Yeager. And this picture, holy shit, I didn't know I had this. This is a picture of the Spelunker Cave, which was the great dark ride at Six Flags Over Texas that was eviscerated and turned into Yosemite Sam's Adventure, although shit, they say it's going to be turned back into the Spelunkers, but I doubt it'll be anything like the original. That's from Thunderball. It says, Molly Peters, who plays the sexy girl therapist in Thunderball, a new James Bond thriller for United Artists release, keeps her figure fit by regular exercise. Here she is shown at one bodybuilding routines. April 19th, 1965. Man, that was printed like a few hours. That picture was printed a few hours before I was born. So I was born April 20th, 1965. How about that? Okay, so I guess Thunderball came out right about the time I was born. I thought Thunderball was more of a Christmas release, but What the hell do I know? I was busy doing important things like being born. Okay, oh, I was going to show you those comics I bought. Okay, so here's one of them. Ringo Kid. Before you get excited, it's not a 50s comic. You look at the back and you realize, oh, this is one of those reprints from 1972. Yes, yes indeed. But, you know, you got a coverless comic that you can read from 1972, and it's a quarter, and Drew approves of that. Okay, what else do I have here? Well, it looks like it's House of Mystery, although they did a wonderful job of ripping the cover off diagonally. You don't see that very often. And it's, I have a feeling these are all going to be from the same month and the same year. I bet this is 72 too, also. It kind of has a EC looking title there, doesn't it? But then that's what they were up to with these, oh, that's cool. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't tell you the number of this. All right, what else did I get? Here's a few, God damn it, Drew. I probably need to go downstairs because Drew's not going to let me do this. An issue of Jonah Hex. I have this one somewhere. It's Star Spangled War Stories with Enemy Ace, but I just thought that arm was a little strange, a little wonky, but maybe it isn't. Who am I to? Here's a Sad Sack. Here's the Charlton Flintstones. Isn't that exciting? Here's a Gold Key Tarzan. Here's another Charlotte. God damn it! What was that noise? I know. Well, that must be the neighbors out there. Let's see what they're up to. Neighbors making noise out there, interrupting my goddamn television show. What the fuck do they do? Oh, there he is. He's actually a nice guy. He said I could use his lawnmower any time until I buy my own lawnmower. Okay, here's an issue of Hot Stuff. It's a shame that they had to remove the titles. When a comic didn't sell, instead of sending the comic back to the distributor, they would just send the title back, and then they would get credit for what they had paid for them. So that's what happened. These didn't sell in that drugstore that is now a barbecue restaurant where last night I had meatloaf, mashed potatoes, a baked potato, slice of pumpkin pie. The fuck else? That was it, I think. Oh, unboxing. This is amazing. Sent to me by Meyer Greenblatt. It's the Immortal Hulk. Looks like you have two heads. One head is part robot now. I've been told that the Immortal Hulk is a great comic, and I've looked at it, and it looks very much inspired by The Thing, not Ben Grimm, but The Thing. You know, Who Goes There? The John Carpenter remake of the 50s movie with all the weird transforming. That looks like what the Immortal Hulk looks like. I like to call him the Immoral Hulk. I think that's funny to call him that. But that's really cool of them to send me this. And I'll add it. I had a whole display of Hulk stuff, and I got to gradually put that back together here in the new place. I'm looking at a little booklet they gave me. It shows all the little booklet displays all the bootleg Marvel heroes, all the fake ones like Ms. Marvel and all these the female Thor, all the, you know, because they had to get rid of all their basic characters. You know, they had, everybody keeps saying how much they hated Endgame. And I was thinking, well, I liked the movie, but now, the more I think about it, I think what they're hating about it are the things that, the more I think about it, I realize, you know, they're right. Making the, you know, putting Captain Marvel in there, then having Thor say, I like this one, just so that we would say, oh, okay, maybe she's all right if Thor likes her. But making Thor fat, because what they're doing is they're emasculating in all the core heroes from the 60s. You know, so they make Hulk not, you know, just a professor, kind of a nebbish Hulk, and they make Thor fat and stupid, and then Iron Man, they kill him off, and then Captain America, although that's great that he was able to go back and reunite with his wartime girlfriend, that's something that Captain America would never have done. And that takes away from his whole character, because the way that Captain America was not someone that would have ever given up or left his friend. He would have, I just don't think he would have done that. So, yeah, I like the movie, but I could see how that was sort of the beginning of the shit that was to come, which was Black Widow, of course, emasculated the Russian Captain America. The Red Guardian, they had to make him fat and stupid because he's, you know, male. You know, men are stupid. And now, you know, the whole Captain Marvel character was a guy, but he never even was a guy in this movie universe. At least the comics recognize that, you know, the whole lineage started with this guy. I just saw one of those comics. Where was it? So I can prove to you. No, that's Warlock. There was a Captain Marvel comic here. What the frick? Oh, there. There we go. See? I don't lie to you. What else? There was, what else have they... So now they're bringing in all these little teenage girl heroes, and oh, they emasculated Doctor Strange. He's not the Sorcerer Supreme. He can't really do anything unless some 15-year-old girl helps him. And then, you know, they introduced some of the classic Jack Kirby heroes and killed them within 2 minutes in this new Doctor Strange movie, from what I understand. I haven't seen it yet because I live in Timbuktu, and the theater only plays one movie a week. And right now they're playing Top Gun, which is, I hear Top Gun is phenomenal. But, you know, they got to play their little politically correct games, and just, this isn't entertaining watching you turn these. Let me get some scissors and I'll cut this guy loose. I probably need to go downstairs to do that. Let me get these books up now. I'll get him freed. Indeed. Okay. I don't remember these books being on the floor, but they need to get picked up since now that the dog is walking around. Oh, these probably got knocked down. This is a bunch of Charlton books. It's Charlton Action featuring Static. I think that's great. Help! He's here. Steve Ditko in 1985. Oh boy. Is this better light? I don't know. Charlton. Here's a childhood comic. I've had this since I was a kid. Ghost Manor, number 19. I'm putting all the Charlton books in some Charlton boxes. So when I find Charlton books, I'm pulling them out. I better go down. This dog is not gonna leave me alone. For lovers only. Ah, shit! No, goddamn fucking shit! Shit, goddamn. She's knocking down stacks of books with her collar, and then about to walk on. Boy, am I fat. God damn, I'm disgusting. Okay, I need to abandon this. Drew, that's not your fault. Sorry about that. It's my fucking fault. Here's some more Charltons that had been knocked on the floor. Let me go downstairs because Donald Trump's probably... the pregame is probably going to start for Donald Trump here soon. Okay, what do we need to do? See this girl here and this girl here are not relatives of mine, but I found these pictures at a antique mall, both dated 1967. I thought these are beautiful. I'm going to adopt them. Now they're going to be part of my family. This clock is not working. Maybe it's the battery, I don't know. This is an amazing Silvertone radio. Silvertone was a Sears brand. Sears, you don't think of high quality, but Sears always, the Silvertone brand, always had the sparkles, and they were just neatly designed. They probably didn't sound as good as other brands, but Silvertone was good. So I've got this Philco Predicta here. This is the guest bedroom. So if you come and stay here, you're either going to stay in the basement or you're going to probably stay on this bed. And putting in some a sound system. You got a state-of-the-art Philco Predicta television. Outside here is the porch where you can watch the world. Here's a painting by Don Marquez, the same guy that painted the Ming the Merciless on the stairs. And this is an uncut sheet of wacky packages. And I ordered this from Topps back in the 70s, probably about 1974, 75. There was a little ad on the back of the wax wrapper where you could get an uncut sheet, like a poster. So I had this on my wall when I was a little kid, and it's up on my wall frame now that I'm a big idiot. And this is just a cool 50s looking thing. All right, so this is the comic room that you've heard so much about. This is where I will broadcast to Graphic Man on Wednesday night. See the Virgin Dance of Death, the Altar of Skulls, and the Walking Dead. See for the first time these sensational thrills. Toddy Pictures Company, 723 7th Avenue, New York, New York. We should look up that address and see if there's an old building there. If it's a new building, then we know that that's not the place where these people actually walked and sat that produced these fine films. The Beast of Borneo. Can Gorilla Glands bring back passionate youth? You know. So, what do we got here? This is stories by Jack Davis from EC. Here's I think I've got another volume that's down in the basement. This is History of the Eight Pagers, the Tijuana Bibles. This is volume 4. These must have come out in the 70s. So anyway, these are all dirty comics. There's Blondie. Okay, so there's X and O. That's Giclée. See Dracula in the back there. can see and what you can't. This is real, not a reproduction. Crosley, they made fake ones. Here's a Shadow, the Master of Darkness, the Silent Seven. I bought at a convention. I need to re-glue this. Someone had a Wheaties box, right? And it's kind of falling apart. And they put Jesus on it. On the other side, they've got Hitler on it, you know, Wheaties champion. And when I was moving into this house, one of the workers, one of the movers that was moving the boxes out of the van, and, you know, saw this and said, and talked to his friend, said, "Hey, look at this." And he says, "Which one do you serve?" And he says, and then he says to himself, "Actually, I serve both." So I was thinking, oh, that's an interesting. Okay, who are these people that are moving my stuff in? He serves Jesus and Hitler. So I was thinking, what is that telling me about this new place I'm moving into? But it's gonna be all right. Okay, so here's some Edgar Rice Burroughs books and that kind of stuff. I've kind of got a jungle theme going here, you know, with that poster and that. And I think I'm going to put some more jungle posters up too. Here's a picture that I printed off the internet. If I had a decent printer, I could print it on like glossy paper and make it look like a real photograph. Captain Strangelove printed this for me and framed it for me and sent it to me as an A-OK. Act of kindness. Nothing can stop Grow 2, we are all doomed. These little things that tell you the time that the movie's playing are cool. I've got a whole bunch of them. I'm starting to put them all in a drawer. Excuse me, Drew. Oh, I just found a bunch of famous monsters downstairs. Okay, so I have moved the television from here because the television is kind of it puts out kind of an ozone-y kind of smell. And here in my comic room, I keep the doors closed in here so the dog doesn't come in here and F with things. And when I would open the door, it would really kind of have that old 1950s technology smell. And so maybe it's old no, it wouldn't be transistors. What am I talking about? Old tubes, possibly. So I moved it out into the guest bedroom so the guests can enjoy that smell. And that gives me room to put like a bookcase or something here. And I moved this bookcase back. Man, I used to have I had a James Bond sign there. Where the fuck is that? All right. So, excitement galore. Come on, Drew, let's go back downstairs. Knocking stuff over. If it's not me, it's the dog. Okay, so what else? There's I told you the other day I knew I had a hardcover copy of this Fantastic Four, the House of Horrors, and here's a Space Ghost. All right, come on, Drew. Let's head on out. Drew stands for Drusilla. My wife used to watch, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Apparently there's a character called Drusilla in that, and she named the dog after that character. All right. Drew, let's come on out and let's shut this. No, we can leave. No, I don't know what to do. Okay, damn it. All right. I only had about 2 hours sleep, and I had about 2 hours sleep the night before, so I'm like real loopy. Because I don't want to go up to the 4th floor. Now the guy that put all the carpet and flooring in this house is the guy that cooks at the deli. And he's a really good cook, and he was telling me they previous owner and everybody call the 4th floor where we sleep the penthouse. So I'm going to stop calling it the attic and call it the penthouse. It sounds so elegant. It's kind of like Crypt Keeper of Castle Hills lives in a penthouse. That's cool. Oh, look at this. Ghost, Castles, and Victims, Tales of Gothic Horror. That's pretty cool. There. Okay, we need this hammer. All right. Amazing. Well, I had intentions of this episode being a lot more entertaining, but perhaps if we go downstairs, I can entertain you more. Oh, she just laid a big pile of shit here on her little diaper. I probably need to flush that. I won't show it to you. Where's my damn super glue? This is the bathroom. Captain Strangelove left all his stuff here, and it's safe, just in case you're watching this episode. You know, I was told, this is a razor blade, and in a lot of old houses, if you open this, there's a little slit in the back where you can drop your razor blade, but that's apparently not the case here in this particular restroom. Okay, but I'm turning it into a Christmas restroom. I have no idea why. It's just I want to be, whenever I go to the restroom on the 3rd floor, I want to think of Christmas. And you gotta have a place to store all your Christmas stuff. Anyway, I'm trying to get a pile of shit in the toilet. So that is the mission right now. Okay. I wonder what time it is. If you know what time it is, please put it in the comments down. Oh no, this shit's too fucking... I gotta change this whole pad. I thought I could pick it up with paper and flush it, but no such luck. Alright, so we're gonna put a new diaper pad down for the dog. She's not supposed to exert herself, so okay, you can see everything in the ceiling. Very interesting. These ceilings create problems with the Wi-Fi in the house, so that's why in that little office downstairs I couldn't get on Graphic Man's Wednesday night four color fossil show. Alright. I can throw this shit out and at the same time check for the mail. Alright, Drew, let's head on down. I gotta turn this light off. We had a real high electric bill last month. I was chastised. It was over it was almost $600. So we're waiting to see what it's going to be. My wife looked into some thing where they give you an average billing or some kind of, you pay a certain amount each month. You know what your bill is going to be each month, and where they would keep it in the $300 range. And it's just that this house is rather large, as I think you know. All right. So I'm taking the poop downstairs. Okay, hold on. There's Pete welcoming us to the 1st floor, the subterranean pinball parlor. I gotta get this in a trash bag. Oh, one of the regular viewers, Whippet Lass in England, wanted me to go through my DVDs and things that are down here and show individual titles, and that's something I could try to do now or soon. But first, let me head in here. This is this is the apocalypse room, where I have all the provisions that we need in the case of a disaster. Elvira beer, and I think everything someone needs in life is here. And these are the two gentlemen that run this store. I got these stickers at a little truck stop. See, everything you need is here. So we're ready. Even have toilet paper for the next pandemic, which I think they're trying to get started now, from what I understand. Okay, let's get this into a trash bag because it don't smell like roses. Sure don't. I'm probably offending the noses and the delicate sensibilities of the cats with this foul stench. Pretzel thins, Boo Berry, model kits. You got your flashlights, everything you need. Crushed tomatoes. You need those for disasters. But yeah, that's what we got here, is a little pantry of cool stuff. So let me dispose of this feces. And let's check on the mail. And then we'll look at some DVDs. My wife is very into old burlesque and old burlesque stars and everything, and has met some of the old burlesque stars like Tempest Storm, and they have in Las Vegas, I think, every year some kind of burlesque hall of fame. Anyway, there's one 1960s stripper named Marinka Amazon, and she spoke primarily Spanish, and my wife's first language is Spanish, and so she was able to talk to her on the phone, and it started. She says, I want to write a book, and I can tell the stories of what things were really like. And so I was telling my wife, you can do this. You just talk with her. You just go over there to where she lives, or you just talk with her on the phone. We record it. You translate it into English. I can polish it up, edit it, because with my English teacher skills. But there was a rumor spreading. Well, there's rumor always that Marinka Amazon was actually a man, and was one of the early, because that started in the 50s, right? The changing of those changes, those surgical changes, whatever. So, but it was a rumor, and then it turned out that it was true. And anyway, she was talking about writing the book with my wife, and then she ultimately wrote it with someone else, and I think it must be out. I don't have a copy of it, but she passed away a couple of years ago. So anyway, there's a autographed picture of her. She sent us a bunch of autographed pictures because she became friends with my wife, right? Talking on the phone. And this picture here, I'll censor it, even though it's really a man, so I guess it's really not a problem. But anyway, that's actually a man. Marinka Amazon. She's a nice person. So whatever. Yeah. This picture here of Leslie Gore is autographed. I got it from eBay, but it looks like it's a fake because there's weird shit going on right here where it looks like it had a name, and it looks like you see the bottom of a TH, and it says with love, Leslie Gore. It probably said to something, you know, like Keith, to Keith, with love, and then someone wasn't able to get rid of the, I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't look right. So I would say that's probably a fake. Correct? And to that I say, fuck. Here's autograph of the Tick. There's Haji from Faster Pussycat Kill Kill. What was her name? I can't remember her name. Oh, her name was Haji. What am I talking about? Okay, so that was, I guess, her stripper name. There's Dick Dale. Okay, got all the, you've seen all this shit. Okay, so when I open this door, halfway up the stairs in the basement, I come out to trash cans in the mailbox. And let's see, is there any mail? No, there's only 2 dead bugs, but no mail. But I'll put this trash into the trash can. Astounding. Nixon doesn't approve of hippies. Okay, let's go down here, and I'm going to give these cats some treats. This room is still a work in progress, which will probably have some exercise equipment or a bar. Oh, I was supposed to show those video, all that shit. They cry and beg for these treats. They're called Temptations. It's really kind of shameful the way they cry for them. And I pour them on the floor, and they go crazy. They go cuckoo for Temptations. All right, let's go over here to the arcade. Okay, fantastic. All right, so in here we have lots of 45 RPM records. Down here in boxes and little tune totes and melody totes, Christmas records, all kinds of stuff. I wish there was a chair in here. This may be a little bit premature for me to go through all the discs and everything. I want to change these fluorescent tubes. I don't like that. I'll put in some ring. Okay, so what do we got? It's just mainly Satan Sadist. I don't know. Just all the movies that everybody's got. Blood Feast, Bloodsuckers, Bloody Pit of Horror, Virgins from Hell, Terror Beneath the Sea. I think this stuff everyone's got. Oh, this company puts out these public domain movies, but they use these covers from Eerie Publications. Look at that. Maybe Eerie Publications. I guess it's public domain too, because yeah, it must be, because Guadalajara reprints that stuff. So this person, what's on this disc? It's got The Vampire and Death Kiss. It's a double feature. But I don't know if you've ever seen those. They used to have them, I think, in Best Buy. I don't know if Best Buy is still in operation or not. Maybe. There sure aren't any around here. These are audio cassette books. Lots of something weird titles here. These are all movie serials on VHS. Yeah, I mean, I'm still unpacking. Our records. What else? Bozo, Casper, The Electric Company. Shit. I don't know what. I'll go through this disc by disc at some point. I don't know. If you think it's something you want to see, I'll do it, you know. I'll do it. Okay, Secrets of Isis, Howdy Doody, Here's Xbox games. There's Super Nintendo. We got some Atari 2600 there. I got more upstairs. These are card games made to look like packs of cigarettes. I guess when cards were less acceptable than cigarettes, people would disguise their decks of cards as packs of cigarettes. See, I think they were given away free by Kent Cigarettes. Those different weird. This is a reel-to-reel recording, Dr. Evil's stage show, and this is a reel-to-reel of That Tender Touch, and yeah, they're all commercials from March 1st, 1970 for That Tender Touch, which is one of those something weird nudie type films. I don't know. Just all kinds of stuff. And I've got more discs in the other room. Okay. Yeah, I found some cool stuff that I can show you guys, but right now I want to get back upstairs. Oh, I need to get a empty box from the 3rd floor to get those comics from the... Okay, let's go do that. Zoma the Sadist. So you kind of have like a circus amusement park theme is what I was kind of going for here. And then this kitty is here. Poster is up above the kitty litter boxes. And I don't know what ultimately is going to go here. And here's the boiler room, which is a place I don't really hang out much, although there's a lot of room in there where I could put boxes or something. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Oh, I want to show you something. We found blood all over the place in this house. See that? Blood. And my wife says there's blood splatters up above the bed in the penthouse. See that? We're looking up at the bottom of the elevator, which is on the floor above this. That's the elevator shaft. How about that? Okay. Here's Larry and Lori Collins, the Collins Kids, which you need to listen to the Collins Kids on YouTube. They're a great rockabilly group. They were kids, and Larry Collins grew up and wrote Delta Dawn, which was a great song. Here's Janet Leigh, which you might know from Psycho and all that stuff. There's the 1948 Donut Queen. Okay. I'm going to close the door to the laundry room. Now let me make sure. There's Pete's tail. I want to make sure that Alan is not in that. Oh, Alan's over here. Because sometimes I'll close the door to the laundry room and I'll hear this crying, this very this crying coming from the vents, and I realize, oh, one of the cats got accidentally trapped in one of the rooms. But I don't want that happening, right, Pete the cat? Pete the cat. They say this Chip and Dale cartoon that's on animated CGI shit that's on Disney Plus some people are actually raving about this film because it's like a warped. They say it's like a warped. What do you call it? Roger Rabbit, and R. Crumb's Mr. Natural appears in one scene, and then an older Peter Pan based on the Disney Peter Pan that's fat and obviously strung out appears in one scene, and people are pissed about that because Bobby Driscoll is one of those that played in Treasure Island, and he was the model for the animated Peter Pan. Later fell onto hard times like a lot of the Disney stars. I can't think of a Disney star that didn't have a horrible life except for maybe Annette Funicello. But yeah, anyway, so I actually want to watch this Chip and Dale movie, just because who would have thought Mr. Natural would appear in a Disney film? That's a little warped. Okay, so Right Side Broadcasting has now begun their programming day. This reminds me of every cheerleader when I was in high school. This girl, the way she talks. But she's all right. She's this young conservative girl that's one of the anchor people here on Right Side Broadcasting.
So, I mean, there's obvious passion there, but what is it that...
So we're awaiting the President Trump rally in Wyoming.
Trump did the State of the Union.
She's interviewing Father Guido Sardici.
Everything he's going to do.
Jesus is my savior, Trump is my president.
That's a great way to put it.
I put on Instagram yesterday a meme that says, I'm praying for you, Donald Trump, I'm praying for you, or something like that. And some people were horrified. Like, well, this is peculiar. And I looked to see what that guy's site looked like, and he was like painted up like Marilyn Manson, somebody that followed me that thought I was a fellow Satan worshiper and was very disturbed that I wasn't, I suppose. Man, I wish you guys would move here. If we could just get 2 or 3 cool people to move here, then we could just be hanging out all the time, swapping comic books, watching movies. What I'm going to do right about here, where Drew is standing, I'm going to have this 50s kitchen serving cart right about here. I'm going to put my projector on it, right? My video projector. And then walk about over here, about right here, I'm going to get I think they cost $100. It's an inflatable drive-in movie screen. And then I'm going to blow that up. And so we'll be able to watch movies in here projected. So that's, I already got all the stuff for it. I just need to come up with $100 for the inflatable projector. What time is it, man? 12:30 Eastern time. That would be 11:30 my time. Oh, let me show you a place that you could move to, man. You could come here and live in apps. Just retire. Most of you are like pushing 60 or over. Retire and move here, man. There's a house 2 blocks from here. We were trying to get my wife's family to move into this house, but I don't think they liked it for some reason. It's a beautiful house, but one of you ought to get it, man. It's where's my sunglasses? It's like $140,000, and it's giant, and it looks like something Norman Rockwell would paint. And there was I don't know if it's still for sale, there was an old church that was converted into a house down the street also. Although the stairs were insanely steep, and that I was scared by them, so I don't know. Let me take. Oh shit! Let me take you guys. I'll show you some of the houses around here. Okay. Right across the street is a place where they do makeup. It's called the Clinic. It used to be a doctor's clinic, but then they turned it into a place where they do facials and all that kind of stuff. I need to buy a new lawnmower because, see, my grass is getting pretty high. And see, that house there is so beautiful across the street. They keep their grass absolutely manicured. It looks like a golf course. And that guy, I met him. He's really nice. But his son is the sheriff of the town. You know, I don't want him talking to his son and saying, boy, that house across from me is really turning into a real eyesore. So, anyway, when you live next to the dad of the sheriff, you want to kind of keep your yard somewhat mowed. Okay. So, let me see. Oh, let's turn on the radio so I can show you, because you guys were... see, I told you there's... I don't want to get a copyright strike, but there's no... they don't play any music that was made after like 1985 or 1990, maybe 1992 here. There's no hip-hop or rap. Look at these cool fucking houses here, man. This is like living in a whole nother time period. Yeah, I can't play that. There's hardly any radio stations, and the ones that you've got, you know, this is where you probably do need Sirius or some kind of satellite radio, because they don't have shit. And my CD player stopped working.
Automating parts of the baling process down to one step. With quarter turn capabilities and
there's a lady that restores old furniture there in that building. Okay, that's the post office where that cool painting that Orr Fisher did back for the Works project or whatever, WPA. Here's the town square. I'll drive you around the town square. There's the Masons own all of this. It's got the Masonic Lodge upstairs. There's the McDonnell. Look at that cool old washing machine they have there. Shit. Okay. There's the hardware store where I almost sprained my ankle when Captain Strangelove was here. It's really a great place. Am I still recording? Let's see. Yes, I'm still recording. Amazing. Sale pending. So that little house just sold. One of you could have bought that house, and then you could have been pals with the Gratu here. Gratu and his wife. Okay, I better pay attention to what I'm doing here. All right. Well, they got a race car in there. See, this is the movie theater here where Top Gun is playing. They're supposed to have Doctor Strange play there, but maybe they're not going to have it since it was such a turkey. Although it's making a lot of money. Yeah, it's yeah, but Top Gun is the movie everyone wants to see. They're at the Princess Theater. Let's see. There's that barbecue place I was telling you about. That's those comics I showed you. They were sold when that was a drugstore. And then where I bought those comics was this place called Aunt Jenny's Attic, Antiques, Collectibles, Arts. And that's the newspaper. They still have a newspaper here, the Record News. All right, so enough. Oh, let's go straight. Shit. Okay. The flags are at half mast because of that shooting down in Texas. Yep. All right, so we're still recording, yes. Okay. See, it's still another time period here. I can't play that music. It will get me a copyright strike. Okay, so look up here. Man, this house, you could sell your house and you can move into this place and have money left over, probably. See, it's still for sale. Let me drive around it. They need to mow their lawn like I do. But it's sure cool. Look at that. Let me turn around here. Oh, and there's still Trump-Pence signs up. Although, maybe they should airbrush off the Pence part. That would be cool. I hear he may have Candace Owens run as his vice president. See, look at this house, man. Amazing. Look at that. Astounding. Let's look at the side of it. Cool. Move here. I'll help you move in, man. There's a 50s style house. They got all kinds of architecture around here. You know, there's not a single stoplight in this whole town. Well, actually, the whole county doesn't have a single stoplight. Only stop signs. So, lots of beautiful green grass. Just like Gary Lewis sang about it. Green grass. That's a great song, actually. Gary Lewis and the Playboys are very underrated. Even though it was all studio musicians, they were amazing studio musicians. The same studio musicians that did the theme to Bonanza and the Munsters and all that. They also did the backing music and like the Beach Boys, you know, Brian Wilson's recordings. I mean, it was the Wrecking Crew. There's a whole documentary about the Wrecking Crew, the studio musicians in the 60s that made everything that you love sound so great. You know, be it the Monkees, Gary Lewis, all that. All right, so it's a beautiful little town. Come for a day or a lifetime, or maybe a day will be a lifetime, because maybe they'll get you and turn you into barbecue, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah, it's like they got a tractor parked in their front yard. That's pretty fucking cool. I mean, that's really fucking cool to have a tractor parked in your. That's like something out of the Dukes of Hazzard. Look at this, man. Having a tractor in your front yard is fucking cool. I think. You may think I'm out of my. Look at how beautiful and idyllic this is, man. Are you fucking kidding me? Look at this. This is where you should live with your wife or your husband. Or, I guess there are a couple of women that watch this channel, according to my YouTube statistics. Look at these houses, man. This is like paradise. And when the Chinese invade, this is probably going to be one of the last places they get to, although they're going to try to take over the farmland more than likely. Anyway, I don't know. What can I tell you except move here, get on Zillow and whatever, Trulia, and look up Mount Gratu and look up what houses are available here. Yeah, look at that. Still recording? Sure am. Sure am. Look at all that, man. This would be a great place to be a kid and to grow up, I think. I mean, I don't know, maybe not. I mean, there really isn't a lot to do. But look, you got all this open space. You can go out and ride your bike. You're not going to get kidnapped. You're not going to be grabbed by Hillary Clinton or, you know, someone wearing red shoes. You're probably telling too much, revealing how much that I know about the cabal and the Illuminati. Anyway, come on down to Mount Grotto. Look at these trees. Here's a stop sign. These little cool houses. There's no lakes or rivers nearby that are going to flood. You don't have a flood danger. You don't have a hurricane danger. You don't have an earthquake danger. That's cool. You have, there is a tornado. There's possibilities of tornadoes, you know, but that, you could have tornadoes in just about any part of the United States, from what I understand. But we would just go into that little closet in the basement with all the provisions, and we would be safe from the storm. You're probably getting bored, so I probably should head on back to the house. Let's see if there's any other houses for sale. It seems like there was. Here's people just having a nice, good old time barbecue, whatever the fuck they're doing. Nice, normal human beings. It's basically like moving back into 1956. There's the old folks home. Maybe you could move right into there. So, for you four-color fossils, come on down. I feel like I'm a Chamber of Commerce member. But I'm telling you, this is a beautiful town. Oh, and we can take over the movie theater because you can rent it for $200 a night. And they only use the movie theater on Friday and Saturday night and Sunday afternoon. So the rest of the days it just lays dormant. Okay. So there's the old Grotto Orloff Manor coming up. So I'll come to a stop here. Lots of people drive around town in these little buggies. I don't know what they call them. Yeah, I gotta mow my lawn for sure. Now let's go straight, actually. I'm still exploring the town myself. I've been spending so much time indoors unpacking. Look at all this space over here where I can walk Drew. And this grass is so green, it's apparently bluegrass. That's what this grass is called. But it's a whole different shade of green. I don't know if it's showing up on this iPhone. But it's a whole different shade of green than the grass I'm used to back in Texas. Yeah, oh, there's the church. Is it still for sale? Yeah, it's still for sale, man. You could live in this church. It's got a garage built up. See, look. You could move into this church and you could have the church of comic books, right? And it's for sale. Yeah, so move into this church. Very steep stairs. If you're in good shape and aren't afraid of heights, that might be a good place for you. Sure, yeah, I've been in that house. And the stairs going down to the basement are incredibly steep and scary. But maybe you like to be scared. Some people like fear, you know, that's why they ride roller coasters and stuff. That's apparently the school. It's unfortunate design. It looks a little prison-like. I don't like that kind of architecture personally, but oh well. Alright. Every street is named after a president. There's Adams. We're on Adams Street. And this street is Hayes. This is this place is groovy, man. It's far out. It's way out. It's a real gas. It's real gear. I thought this place was a tattoo place, Podium Inc., but apparently they do commercial design, advertising design work. It was not actually a tattoo parlor. Here is there's a bar in here that's kind of cool looking. I haven't been to it. Well, there's several bars. They both close about 8 or 9 at night. But this one here is called, what's it called? The Gold Mine Saloon. And there's the Hy-Vee supermarket. Oh, you can buy that place, the Mill, there. It's a part residence. You could turn it into a residence. You could make it right now it's a coffee place and an antique place, but you could live there. And that's also for sale. Okay, so we're coming back home now. All right. I just felt like driving around a little bit and wasting some gas because it's always good to leave as big a carbon footprint as you possibly can. And I don't feel like I've been driving enough and polluting enough. Anyway, there's that little train depot museum. They don't have a train coming through here anymore, but they still have the depot station. Real cool museum. That's where I went in and interviewed the proprietor about Orr Fisher, who was a cartoonist and artist around in these parts, who I really like. And so that's kind of cool. All right, so let's go look at some comic books, because that's why you came here, right? Strong wind today. Drew is waiting in the window, wanting to know why we left. Alrighty, well, we're back.
Something so neat that I actually learned about today. I should have known earlier, I'll say it. But there's only
Her voice is very annoying.
and that's Liz Cheney's right now. So this
That's
is the large state, is the third largest
yeah, that's what I remember. All the
and it belongs to O'Brien
there was a
right
girl
now.
that looked just
So,
like that in high school. Her name was Gretchen, and she had kind of an annoying voice too. And she wound up becoming Miss Texas or Miss something important, not Miss America, but she was a cheerleader. I remember everyone thought she was just the most gorgeous girl, but she would go out and suntan herself to the point of being this dark, you know. Right, Drew? It's not good to suntan. They used to call it laying out. I'm gonna go lay out, get a tan, go lay out. This is back in the early 80s, you know. Okay, so I'm gonna go upstairs and get an empty comic box and come down. Oh, it's Mike Lindell. Mike Lindell, we have a bunch of pillows from Mike Lindell. He has mypillow.com.
So there's two things every
Here's his product catalog.
We're here to get rid of the machines and get our elections right, and believe me, we're doing it. You can get involved.
indeed.
Go to FrankSpeech.com. Go to Cause of America. I have a platform there. Get involved and just
Okay.
And if you don't even want to do that, just pray.
An empty short box. I just saw one upstairs.
Every single day.
Oh, there's another XNO painting I forgot about. This Frankenpop. That's one of his favorite characters that he's done. Probably hundreds of paintings of is this combination Frankenstein and Popeye, which are two of my favorite characters too, Frankenstein and Popeye. So that amalgamation of the two is quite wonderful to me. Drew's following me. I think Drew is pretty much recovered from her surgery, but I've got to leave that cone on her for a while, they say. Oh, here's a Atlas Seaboard comic that I need to get. I was separating my Atlas Seaboard comics. Sergeant Hawk, Blazing Battle Tales. Most of these Atlas Seaboards are knockoffs of Marvel comics. This one kind of looks more like a DC knockoff, because that does not look like a Sergeant Fury. But anyway, I'll get that with those. Oh, the famous monsters downstairs. Why am I even... Oh, the box. Come on, Drew. I know there was an empty box. Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. This is one of those strippers that my wife was friends with, Satan's Angel. She had this documentary made about her, and she lent it to a friend, and this idiot never returned it. We finally got the idiot to return it right before we moved. So I don't know if it's all scratched up or not. It feels a little dirty. I don't like when things are lent out. When they come back, they feel grubby, like they've been touched by other foul people. Ah, God damn it. Just shut the door on my knuckle. That's what I get for holding this phone, walking around like an idiot. Okay. Okay. Now I've got my radio collection set up. I gotta put up some curtains on these windows, so that light is obnoxious. Come on, Drew. So you're doing a good job coming down the stairs, Drew. Look at you. She's licking her lips, which means that she's hungry. Maybe it's lunchtime. Lunchtime. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I've got some Bronze, Silver Age books that I need to put in this box, and then I need to go up and file them with the Silver Age books. So, all right. Drew's pushing really into me. Oh, that's right, she's hungry. Man, there's so much shit I gotta do. Oh, and those famous monsters. Yeah, Crypt Keeper of Castle Hills. I was just now seeing, I guess he's had it up about a month. He has a Warren, a whole show about Warren publications, Warren magazines. And it starts, he shows some clips from some documentaries in there. One of them shows like, it's like the 4 Acker mansions or something. It shows the different houses that Forrest J. Ackerman was in over the years. And I don't think I've ever seen that documentary. So I was gonna send him a. I was gonna ask him what that was. Unless he watches this, then he'll know that I'm wanting to know that. Okay, so let me put this down somewhere. Here's a Dracula coffee mug. Alright, there we go. Well, here's a copy of World's Finest. This is what happened in Davos. This is the World Economic Forum. So let me go ahead and put these in alphabetical order. Well, this Archie is from the 70s, but I'll put it in the front of this box. Man, I want to see 2,000 Mules. I still haven't seen that. Okay, this is Archie 273, 274. Here's World's Finest number 182. The other one I just showed you was 165. Here's another World's Finest, 195. I don't think people collect World's Finest that much. You can get these pretty cheap. Here's 154.
There's like a fine line to me between like being rude and also just like being a reporter. So.
Okay. What do we have here? Oh, Classics Illustrated Junior. Fantastic. The Glass Mountain.
Let's just continue to keep eyes on her. So this is the woman that is going to replace Rhino Liz Cheney here in Wyoming. She's heading
Oh, this is what I got from Eric Breen in his comic store. The Fantastic Four annual number. Drew's knocking everything over, man. She doesn't mean to. Anyway, I was looking for one of these for years, for decades, and I got it cheaper than the price listed here. And this is what was supposed to be the cover for it. This is on the back of I think a Fantastic Four checklist magazine comic, but this was supposed to be the cover, but instead they went with this one. So anyway, that's cool. Fox and the Crow 47. Fantastic Four. Fox is after Fantastic Four. And here's Fantasy Masterpieces 5. Fantasy is after Fantastic Four. Here's one of those comics that's, didn't sell, so they tore off the title. This is Iron Man number something. Kid Colt Outlaw number 124. Actually, these are already in alphabetical order, aren't they? Here's Metamorpho number 10. I don't know if you can see that, but in the DC logo, do you see under the DC in pencil, they wrote the condition. That's what Lone Star Comics used to do back in the 70s and 80s. They wrote in pencil G, meaning this is in good condition. I guess they thought, well, you can just erase it, but, So if you see pencil conditions written on comics, that's where they came from, is Lone Star Comics. Here's Submariner number 77. I know that because someone wrote 77 on it in pencil. Sergeant Fury 75. The Deserter. Oh, I love Sugar and Spike. Love Sugar and Spike. Now, Sheldon Meyer. I've told this story before, but I'm like your old uncle that keeps telling the stories over and over again. Look down in the trash can, Sheldon Meyer, in the National Periodical Publications office, and saw something. He pulled it out, said, "Hey, you know, this is pretty good." And it was Siegel and Schuster's original submission of Superman. So if it wasn't for Sheldon Meyer, Superman may never exist, or wouldn't have been published by National or later DC. Yak Yak. This is all Jack Davis art. Here's another copy of that same World's Finest issue. So I probably should take the one that's not as in good a shape and put it in that comic rack in the other room, because I got to fill that comic rack. So I don't know, they're about in the same condition. I'll figure that out later. Well, here's a more modern World's Finest, 272. I call it modern, like this is a new issue. To me it is, but it's probably from about 1979, 1980. To me that's new. Seriously, I mean it really is. And then someone will shame me by telling me exactly how many years ago 1980 really was, and I'll go, oh shit. Here's, I need to put this in the Christmas box. A few years ago I was inspired by Night Tiger Comics here on YouTube. He had all these Christmas comics and would do Christmas episodes. And I thought, I need to pull all my Christmas comics and put them in a certain box so I can do a Christmas show at the end of the year. And so I started doing that, which is a whole nother rabbit hole of anal retentiveness to go down. Here's Thor number 280. I've been doing a lot of compiling of Thor comics from the Bronze Age and Copper Age upstairs, and realizing I've got 4 or 5 copies of a lot of issues because I buy them again and again over the years, not realizing, scheiße, I already own them. And, here's an example. There's 2 copies of Thor 339, which I guess it's worth something because it has Beta Ray Bill. But you know, they'll probably turn Beta Ray Bill into a teenage girl. And then no one will be interested in it anymore. But I kind of think when James Gunn makes a movie like the new Guardians, where I guess Warlock will appear, or when Taika Waititi makes the new Thor movie, I still am not ruling out the Thor movie. I see a lot of videos popping up on YouTube saying, oh, it's just another one of these MCU things they're turning in, but I'm going to give him a chance because I like that director. But I don't know. We'll see. There's several copies of 341, and I think I've got a bunch more upstairs. That's one I've got a bunch of copies of. But I'll find that out when I go upstairs next time. I just... Thor 364. I think speculators are getting excited about this issue. Maybe someone said that this frog's going to appear in a movie or something. But you know, you can't, buy what you like. Don't speculate. Don't watch Comic Tom and speculate because, oh, that character's going to be in a movie, because the movie's probably going to be shitty, and then you're going to be eating. If you really like the Eternals, buy the Eternals. But nobody's really ever liked the Eternals that much. But if you're buying the Eternals just as an investment and they turn out a spectacular turd of a movie like they did, then you're going to be sitting on. This is a giant-sized Thor from #1 from 1975. You could have bought this, or you could have probably bought giant-sized X-Men, like on the other side of the spinner rack. But this is the one of those 2 I have, so that solves that question. And this is what she's supposed to look like. Just so you know, She-Hulk.
Wow. Yes, sir. Okay.
So that's Marvel Age. So Marvel Age. Okay, what do we got here?
Serious?
I've got a lot of duplicates of the Avengers comics from the early 70s too, because I had a bunch of them, some of them, and then my friend Randy gave me his entire collection from like issue 16 through probably about 1975. So then I wound up with some duplication of some issues, but that was an amazing gift. I think I've shown those before on this channel, but maybe I'll show them again for people that have just recently subscribed. And by the way, you need to subscribe and hit that little bell, and then I'll become famous here on YouTube, because I've already got 345 followers, whatever you call them. What do you call them? Subscriptions. I don't know. I don't know if I'm shadow banned because I'm aware that the government is controlled by Luciferians, or if I don't know. What the fuck? Oh, here's another. Here's the Avengers number 142. Damn, I'm freaking hungry. I may go over to the Hy-Vee and get a hamburger. Here's the Avengers 148 with a Jack Kirby cover.
Yeah, it looks like it. Alright, y'all have fun. Thank you. Okay, so I can't go all the way to the end of the line.
Here's a Sergeant Rock 422.
Thank you.
This would probably be, what is it, Copper Age after Bronze, probably.
He was saying that it was Right Side Broadcasting. Okay, hello.
Damn, what are you doing there, Drew?
Right Side Broadcasting Network.
You're knocking everything over.
So this, I
Don't
think
knock
my
over,
old
flip the
16
frog,
inch
Drew.
parking
You're
lot.
licking everything. What the hell? Okay.
Some beautiful shirts.
It's Marvel 2-in-1 number 6.
The line
Oh, she's fucking hungry. That's why she's...
11.
Look at me showing you comics instead of feeding my dog.
But we should
And it's all your fault,
So when we break out here, hello.
because you come here seeking entertainment.
Thank you. Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you? Oh, hi. Now, when you're 57, trying to stand up after dealing on the floor, that's not a lot of fun. Yada what? I've made it. That which does not kill you only serves to make you stronger. Right, Drew? Drew, you want some
I'll do it.
delicious and nutritious...
He's the best. While I interview you. So, is this your first?
It's my first Trump rally. Yes, in person.
My first Trump rally. Oh my. Hey, what am I doing? I shouldn't make fun of them. These are my people.
His phone right now.
Right here.
Let's see who's
How far away did you travel from?
Colorado. Evans, Colorado. So 3-hour drive.
And what is it about President Trump that makes you sit and watch the rallies and travel?
People. He's always been for the people. And he's made America great. And we're going to do it again. And I want you to sign my hat too, President Trump. Girl, if you take it, Liz, you take it to him, girl.
All right. Let's feed. Now, this is a sponsor here on the Grot Orloff Inspirational Network.